Hello there, my name is Jeremy King and I'm the Regional Head for Europe for the PCI Security Standards Council, and it's really great to be with you today. I'm sorry that I can't be giving this presentation in person, but hopefully next year I will have the chance to meet you, and that is a day that I am very much looking forward to, when we can get back together and really talk about how best to improve payment card security. And talking of lots of things I'm looking forward to, here we are with the development of the PCI DSS version 4.0. Yes, it's still going on, but this has been an extremely big change for the council, going from PCI DSS 3.2.1 to version 4. And that has meant there has been a lot of changes and also a lot of input and support and involvement with you, our PCI community. We've already completed 2 requests for comments, which amounted to over 5,000 individual items of feedback from you, our PCI community. And those changes and updates have gone through individually to see how best to improve the standards as a result of them. And in doing so, we realized that the changes to the supporting documents was also going to be significant, and so we felt it necessary to hold an RFC for these as well. This is the first RFC for supporting documents that the PCI has ever undertaken, and this is a great opportunity for you to take your part and provide your feedback. As with all our RFCs, the validation document RFC will be open to our PO community and other members, as well as our QSAs and ASVs. Do please download and review the documents and then provide your comments, because you really can make a difference. Getting this right is critical for everyone, because we're going to be using these documents for a number of years going forward. So for us, that means the standards will continue to provide excellent global level data card security, and for you, you can be confident that using the standard will protect the data for your customers now and going forward. And those are not just words. Of the comments we've received so far from the RFCs, over 2/3 resulted in a change or an improvement to the standard. That is us listening to you, our community. And there's still more to come. After this RFC, we'll be updating all of the supporting documents based on that feedback, and that is no small task, as well as finalizing the DSS itself, because we need to check that any of the comments we received on the RFC for the supporting documents doesn't impact the DSS itself. So they are linked together, and that link has meant that we will not be able to release the DSS version 4 until everything's ready. And that means that we're going to have to push out the timeline of the release for the new documents. Finally, we'll also be translating the new PCI DSS into our core languages. Hopefully we'll get this done as soon as we can after the release of the English version. This has been a major task for the council, and we really do appreciate your help and understanding as we've been working through these updates and changes. I know it seems to have taken a long time, but it is important for such a big change that we get it right, and that these documents, as I've said, are going to be really useful to you. All of this, as you can gather, has altered the timeline for the dates we previously published. We do expect DSS version 4 to be released in Q1 2022. But of course, there's still a lot of work to do between now and then, and sometimes these may lead to changes and hopefully not to more delays in the release date. But obviously, we will keep you very much informed through our blog posts and other ways, so that you'll know when they're going to be released. And don't worry, we'll make sure everyone knows that they're going to be released. Another important change as a result of all these changes in the release dates has been the transition period. The transition period itself remains the same. Any changes in the release date of the new documents will simply move the transition period out by the same amount of time. We will not reduce the transition period. And this is really important, because in the transition period, we'll be running both the DSS 4 and the 3.2.1 in parallel. And so you can get used to DSS version 4 whilst you're still being evaluated and assessed against version 3.2.1. And this is an important time period, because there are a lot of changes and organizations do need time to understand what it means and to plan for those changes. We don't like bringing in surprises. We've worked with you throughout this whole process, and that's not going to change when we get to the release. You may have also heard some comments or discussions about future dated new requirements. So basically what that means is with version 4, we'll be introducing some new requirements, but we don't just release these when we release the standard. These are what we call future dated. And so when the standard is released, the new requirements will not become effective until a period in the future. Again, to let everyone get used to them and plan for them becoming implemented. When the document is first released, these future dated requirements are just best practices until that date is reached, when you will have to show compliance against them. So what happens next? Well, we're into the final stages. We'll have the RFC for the supporting documents, and we'll review and consider every feedback item that we receive from them. We'll also prepare summary documents for all of the RFCs about the DSS4, and if you've commented, you can download these from our portal. We'll complete the updates to the PCI DSS and the supporting documents and everything else, and then when it's all ready, we'll let you know it's going to be released, and then the great day will come and version 4 will be out there and we can all start using it, and then looking forward to the next iteration, because yes, security doesn't stand still. We will need to keep improving our standards. Of course, PCI is not just about PCI DSS version 4. We have lots of other standards that we've been looking at, reviewing and updating throughout the period. And this is very true about our software security framework. The software security framework was launched back in January 2019 to provide a modern approach to software security. It is designed to support a broad set of payment software, architecture and development methodologies, and it builds on the key principles that were first introduced in PA-DSS. But unlike when PA-DSS was first introduced, the new software security framework reflects that software is designed for use over a much shorter time frame and considers a significantly more frequent update and patch process. It was clear that we needed to update our program to match the way software is used today, and the SSF provides this. The software security framework comprises of two standards: the Secure Software Lifecycle, Secure SLC, which is a new option. The Secure SLC will enable PCI SSC through its assessors to evaluate and approve the development and testing process from a vendor. What this means is that when a vendor wants to update or patch their software, if they are Secure SLC approved, then they will simply follow that approved process, provide us with all of the details of the change, and then PCI SSC will update its website, and so instantly the new patch or the new version becomes approved. This is great news for merchants because they know the software will always be approved, that they don't have to worry about, has this change gone through PCI? Yes, it will have done through the new Secure SLC process. It's going to be quicker, simpler and easier, and really help improve security. The software security standard defines the requirements and security that the application and software must meet. And this is a modular approach, and so you will see more modules added to provide a broader array of software that is available for evaluation and approval to ensure the security of that payment data. Both of these standards have been updated in 2021. The Secure SLC was updated in February 2021. The program was expanded to support a broader range of software vendors, also had some updates to the standard and the program guide, as well as updates to the supporting documentation. Those updates included minor clarifications and alignment of terminology. We didn't add any new security requirements, so really this is a general update and simplification of the process. The Secure Software version 1.1 was published in April this year, and this introduces the new terminal software module. So again, if you're a vendor developing software for use in payment terminals, then this is really an important update for you, and I would strongly recommend that you download and start reading this document so you can get used to it. Outside of this, there were no major changes to any of the security requirements or the validation process. One other exciting new option being introduced this year by the Council is what we are calling informational training. This enables anyone who has been involved in payments to undertake the same training as our assessors, but on an informational basis, i.e. the attendees will not take the exam. And given the major changes to the software evaluation program with the introduction of the SSF, then this informational training really is a great opportunity to learn more about the standards and how they will affect your organization. And if you're a vendor, what you should be doing to ensure not only that your programs, but also your processes will meet the requirements. And that is really going to help you and also help your customers. Another big change that the introduction of the software security framework has had is that we are going to start moving away from PADSS. The PADSS program is going to close. The end of June saw the closure of the PADSS program to new submissions. Only changes to existing listings will be accepted until the PADSS program itself is fully retired on the 28th of October 2022. Going forward, the only option for the approval of software is going to be through the software security framework. So it's essential that your organizations are moving towards the software security framework now, because you need your software to be approved, and from June onwards, this is the only option. So if you are a merchant, talk to your vendors. If you're a vendor, then start understanding what it means and what you have to do to have your software approved against the new SSF process. We're constantly making lots of statements. We're releasing blogs and articles about this all the time. So hopefully this isn't new. This is something you should be aware of. But if you've not come across this before and it is new, you do need to take action now. We are closing the PADSS. You do need to move across to the software security framework, because we want to ensure that software is going to protect the cardholder data now and going forward. Other standards that we've also been updating include our point-to-point encryption standard. The point-to-point encryption standard has been around since 2012 and provides a really excellent way of encrypting the cardholder data at the point of interaction, and ensures that it is encrypted all the way through the process, making it much more secure and actually simplifying the validation process for your data security for merchants. We've moved from version 2 to version 3, which is the latest version. And version 3 was published at the end of last year. Since then, we've done some minor changes to the security requirements. 4 new component provider types, third party providing aspects of point-to-point encryption solution, providing more flexibility for component providers and for point-to-point encryption solution providers. Point-to-point encryption version 2 will still be active until the end of June. So really, we have just moved into the period of switching from P2PE version 2 to version 3. All new submissions must be released against P2PE version 3 from now onwards. And remember, all of your listings do have a 3-year life cycle. So validity against version 2 solution is not tied to this June 30th, 2021 date. It will be valid for its 3-year life cycle as normal. Version 2 solutions, application and components are validated to provide strong point-to-point encryption protection until their expiry date. Just because we've moved from version 2 to version 3 doesn't mean that version 2 is not secure. It is. This was to a very high bar, and we've raised that bar even higher. But we're still very confident in the security that point-to-point encryption version 2 provides. Continue to use it, but be aware of the dates. And if you are developing a new solution, then do develop against the new version 3 requirements. And talking of the point-to-point encryption, one of the other things that we've recently changed is how that's listed on our website. Because point-to-point encryption is a solution process, it does contain various different elements. And it was a little bit confusing about whether a P2P solution was still approved or validated or could be used when various different pieces had different revalidation dates. And so we've introduced this new process to put the warning triangle to show if one of the items involved has reached its expiry date, or if we're waiting for an update to come through. This is clearly visible now on our website. It's easy to navigate through this complex listing process and makes the whole thing much more transparent. If you do have any challenges with this, do reach out to your point-to-point encryption solution provider, who will be able to explain whether the solution you're using is okay or whether it needs updating. Everyone I talk to online or at events where I've presented to in recent months, the one hot topic that is always present is that of mobile-based payments. This new and exciting opportunity will enable a broader range of merchants to accept card-based payments. Since the PCI SSC first introduced its SPOC standard, that's software-based pin-on COTS, we've pushed this change into the payment space. Using a commercial off-the-shelf mobile device along with a secure app and back-end monitoring system, we've enabled merchants who are not in a fixed location to be able to accept in a secure way card-based payments. But as this has gone out and people have got used to it, we've also seen major stores look at this as a way to improve their customer experience and reduce queues by having queue busting opportunities and other options. And it's become very, very exciting. Following on from the SPOC, PCI SSC reduced its CPOC for the contactless based payments on COTS. And obviously, as we went through 2 lots of standards and then looked at a third option, it started to get a little bit complicated. And so what we've done within the council is actually just stand back, have a look at this and reassess where we want to go with our mobile payments. And as a result of this, what we've decided to do is actually to align all of our mobile-based standards, SPOC, CPOC, and what will be new developments into a single modular-based standard, which will called mobile payments on COTS. That's a bit of a working title. When we get to the stage where we're releasing this, obviously we'll inform you about what the formal title will be. It might stay the same, it may change. But what is important is actually we're bringing all of the standards together into a simple and more flexible program. And this will be easier for merchants to work their way through. It'll be easier for vendors and assessors. We're hoping to get this new standard out for RFC this year. It's being worked on as I speak, and certainly we'll keep you informed as we get through this process. And again, keep an eye out on our website, because later in the year you'll see it come up on the RFC list. And there's still more to come. We have, as an organization, 15 different standards covering the entire card-based lifecycle, and all 15 standards are at a different stage of their lifecycle, which means we are always updating or reviewing one or more of our standards. We're totally committed to keep all of those standards up to date to be able to address evolving threats, as well as new technologies and changes in the payment methodologies. We work together with you, our community, to make sure we are providing a secure solution wherever you are in that payment lifecycle. As a standards body, the most direct way to involve yourself is with changes to the PCI requirements through our RFC process. On the screen is our current list of standards undergoing RFC, and in addition to the DSS supporting documents, we also have a second RFC for card production, as well as an RFC for our HSM standard. If you're involved in these areas or use these standards, then do please download, review and provide your comments, because as I've said and pointed out, your comments make a difference. Our standards are global. We only have one version for the entire world, and so we need to make sure that our standards are applicable wherever you're working or operating, and we can only do that with your feedback and input. The other key thing is to be able to participate in the RFC program, you need to be a participating organization. And if you're not already a PO, then join today and make that difference. It's really easy. Just visit our website and go to Get Involved and go through the registration process. And I'd love to see you on board as a participating organization, because the RFC process is only one of the many benefits that you will have. I'd like now to talk briefly about some of the changes taking place to our training program. While many changes and challenges continue to exist from the global pandemic, one opportunity that this brought was that we were able to convert all of our training courses, including all instructor-led classes, to an online format. I'm proud to say that the team has completed the conversion of all our courses to e-learning format, as well as the previous computer-based training that was available. So now location is no longer a barrier to taking the classes or exams, and our training is now instructor-led and online, so you really do get the best of both worlds. And we've also begun to provide more opportunities for our corporate training, and this is a really great way for your organization to have more in-depth training focused for your needs, and it really will meet your industry's vertical. As I mentioned, PCI SSC is now providing informational training as well for anyone wishing to learn more about any of the programs for which that is available. Again, to find out more about all of our training programs, do visit our website at PCIsecuritystandards.org and go on the trainings tab where you can find informational training as well as all of the other details for all of our other training courses. If this is something you're interested in, do take part, do get involved. It really does help improve security. Another major impact of the global pandemic was a shift from working in the office to working from home. For many companies globally, this is a change that will continue after the pandemic as the benefits of working from home have been noticed. However, working from home and being involved in payments is a challenge, especially to keep cardholder data as well as your organization secure. In response to this challenge, the PCI SSC have developed a short online animated training program, Working from Home. And this new program will help educate on the high-level security threats, discuss common threats of work from home environments, overview of policies and importance of the security that they bring, and provide PCI SSC secure work from home resources such as frequently asked questions, newsroom articles, blogs, and much more. If you are working from home or if you have staff working from home, I cannot recommend this highly enough. This is a quick, short, informational training that is really important and is going to make a big difference for your colleagues working from home and protect your customers' data. And speaking of certifications, if you have or if you are someone that relies on those and have been qualified through the PCI SSC, such as a QSA, ASV, or an ISA, or even a PCIP, then we have a new voluntary program to receive a free universal badge that demonstrates this achievement. I've already seen lots and lots of people online through LinkedIn showing with pride the badges that they have achieved, and absolutely rightly so. Achieving a badge to show that you are a PCI SSC expert is something you should be proud of, and we're really proud to be part of this and to enable you to have this badge. And we'll be using the badging platform used by many global certification bodies, so it can provide a central way for a person to be recognized for their achievements. Finally, I'm going to return back to working from home because we've been releasing some frequently asked questions around this because we've been receiving a lot of questions from our community about what this means. So let's first clarify what we mean when we're talking about personnel working from home. This refers to the individuals that are employed by an entity to perform business duties from the individual's private residence. This does not include individuals running their own business from home. This is about employees working from home. So now we've established that, let's look at some of the questions that we've been providing frequently asked question responses to. One question we've heard from stakeholders is whether the work from home environment is considered a sensitive area for PCI DSS requirement 9. The simple answer is no. An individual's private work from home environment is not considered a sensitive area. So personnel working from home are not required to meet PCI DSS requirements that apply to sensitive areas, such as using either video cameras or access control mechanisms to monitor physical access to areas or to control physical access to the area based on individual job function for their work from home environment. Another question that is coming up is whether an ISA or QSA is required to visit work from home environments during a PCI DSS assessment to determine if personnel are meeting the applicable requirements in their office. The answer to this one again is no. PCI SSC does not require QSAs or ISAs to visit personal private residences for purposes of a PCI DSS assessment or for any other purposes. When doing an assessment, the assessor should work with the entity to understand what the entity has implemented secure connections from their work from home environments. This includes understanding how the account data is stored, processed or transmitted from work from home environments and how applicable PCI DSS requirements are being met. What controls the entity has to provide assurance that those controls continue to function effectively to protect the entity's network and cardholder data. Similar to the assessor question, PCI DSS also does not require entities themselves to conduct on-site audits of their personal work from home environments because these are private residences. that are not owned or controlled by the entity. Entities are expected to have controls and processes in place to govern how personnel working from home access payment card account data. And there should be controls and processes implemented to ensure that payment card account data is protected in accordance with applicable security requirements. The specific approach any entity may take, how they apply PCI DSS from home environments, may vary, depending on the entity's business and security needs and how they have configured their infrastructure to support personnel working from home. Do look out for the guidance on our blog. We will keep updating this. And again, do use the work from home training, because that brings all of this together to ensure that as an organization, your staff working from home can do so in a secure environment. One thing we have clearly seen since the start of 2020 is just how quickly things can change. And the world of payments has and continues to change even more rapidly. What also has changed is how we engage with you, how we communicate with you. When we established the stakeholder engagement group, of which I am part at the PCI Council, our mission for the team was to improve payment security globally by facilitating industry awareness, education, knowledge sharing, and participation. And that's what I'm doing today. And we'd love to hear more from you on how we're doing and what we can do differently and what we can improve on and where that attention needs to be. So do visit our website, do provide feedback and information to me or any of my colleagues, and do enjoy the rest of the event. Thank you very much indeed, and goodbye.